Welcome, everybody, to podcast number
Yes.
3.
Number
So,
three.
my favorite number. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little introduction and then introduce
Mhm.
my super special guest host today. So,
Ah.
my name is Dr. Luis Ramirez. I am a diagnostic specialist here in upstate New York streets. Okay. Uh, the 315 area code area. And
Love it.
today, I have a special guest with us today. Her name is the most fabulous, soon to be known as Dr. Michaela Mims. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist. And I'm going to have her real quick introduce herself and do her little spiel that I love that she does. And then we're going to dive it into this topic of today, which is
I love it.
healthy, unhealthy relationships. Where do
Okay.
you stand?
Okay.
Okay. Take it away,
Hey y'all.
Michaela.
Awesome. Well, I'm Michaela Mims, licensed marriage family therapist out here in these Elk Grove, California streets, honey. I do therapy with couples, blended families, bonus mamas. I do the garden variety, mental health issues, but I niche mostly with Black women. I don't make any bones about that because my community is very underserved. I see everybody, and I really enjoy working with people that look like me because we tend to be underserved. Let's see, I'm a TikToker. I can officially say that. I am a live stream host. And I am a lover of Dr. Louis Ramirez.
I love Michaela.
That is my baby on the East Coast.
And that is my auntie on the West Coast.
West
So
Side.
you would think that for those of you guys that are joining in for the first time, you would think that me and Miss Michaela over here had known each other for years, the way that our relationship has flourished in the past 6 months.
I know, right?
So it goes to show with the topic of relationships today, right? It goes to show that when you establish healthy relationships, not just intimate ones, but with your colleagues,
Right.
your people that you meet,
Right.
and we make TikTok, right? If it's
That's right.
healthy and we
That's
got
right.
boundaries and we communicate, 6 months can feel like a lifetime, okay?
It
And not in a
can,
bad way.
right,
It's
in
not
a
a
very good
condemnation,
way,
a
a very
blessing.
good way, for sure.
Um, Ms. Michaela has seen me in the past 6 months through some very tough
Mm.
trials and tribulations, and she has been such a great source of spiritual guidance,
Bless you.
such a great source of love, caring, empathy, and authenticity. She comes correct,
Authenticity.
and I love it that she be pulling my coattail when she needs to. Okay, but today I'm
Received
happy
and
that you
given.
I love that she decided to come and join me today in discussing this very special topic to me. I
Yeah.
have been working on relationships in general, like the topic of relationships more so since 2023, post
Hmm.
divorce, and exploring and not just exploring in like a regular sense, but
Hmm.
also taking an interest in navigating and creating a new book, and also getting an additional PhD in the topic because it's so important to me. Relationships is what molds us, is what we're surrounded by all day long, right?
I know. We're
So,
interconnected.
and I love the fact that her topic that she talks about constantly is related to what she loves to call bonus mothers and fathers. For most of you guys don't know what that means, the term bonus mother and father, it stands for step
Hmm.
parent. But we don't like
Hmm.
to use that word because I
I
feel like
only
it's a little
have
bit
steps
negative.
in my house.
Exactly. So with today, we have been talking for quite a couple of weeks now, Michaela, about relationships in general, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I am happy that you were able to join me today on this podcast and be able to have this conversation about
Yes.
relationships, what
Let's do
what it
it.
looks like to be healthy or unhealthy, and
Hmm.
navigating what that looks like, not just in our intimate relationship with our partners, or like Miss Michaela likes to say, my man, my man, my man. Yes, right? Because her and I have something very special. We both are deeply, hold on.
The
And look,
sound effects are taking me out
we are deeply, deeply, I'll say it one more time, deeply
deeply, deeply. I love
in love.
it. Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and they weren't our first, unfortunately, they were not our first choices, but they will be our last.
That part. That's
Well,
it. There are no more after that.
and me and Michaela agree with the following. You try coming after me and her and our mans, and this is what's gonna happen to y'all. Okay? So
The sound
let,
effects.
let's
You
get into
didn't
this
prepare
topic.
me. Let's go.
Girl,
Let's
I
get it.
wanted I just wanna surprise you. So let's get into this
And
today.
and and did and did surprise me.
So let's get into this today.
Okay, let's go.
Let's talk about these when it comes to relationships. So, as you know, for quite some time, I've been talking to you about. So, with today's topic, when it comes to unhealthy and healthy relationships, and where do we stand, or where does the audience stand that we're
Mm-hmm,
currently
mm-hmm.
seeing and trying to bring this message to? More so, also focusing on two very specific elements. The first one is smoke, as you know how I love it, right?
Acronyms.
And I don't mean smoke, guys, the devil's leaf, okay? I mean
Mm-hmm.
smoke, an acronym that I created. Sensation is the first one,
Uh-huh.
okay? Motive, the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Observation within what's happening, what's causing these squabbles or whatnot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
K is for the key events or elements that may have been the catalyst or the spark, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then E for your expression of how you are to
Mm-hmm.
identify or express that second, not a primary, secondary emotion caused by said situation. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first topic, is smoke. The
Mm-hmm.
second thing that we want to focus on today for this live is conscious communication
I love that.
and
Conscious
understanding
communication.
that winning doesn't always mean a good thing, because sometimes winning those arguments, you're actually adding flames to the
Mm-hmm.
pile of wood
Mm-hmm.
in that argument. Okay?
Oxygen to
So,
the fire.
yes, ma'am. And we don't want to do this sometimes. Sometimes we need the fire to turn off. And it's hard.
Yeah.
Something that
Yeah.
I hear from a lot of patients and friends and things of that nature that I come encounter with when talking about this topic, that the reason why they feel that they have to quote unquote win, right,
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
because of their pride or, well,
Mm.
I know I was right in what I was saying, da 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 da. But sometimes we gotta do like Jesus himself and turn the other cheek. And I don't mean the ones on the backside.
I
Okay.
love you. I love
So
you.
take it away. Talk to me about that a little bit, especially as a bonus mama. And
Woo!
because you have multiple relationships in that circle alone.
I
And
do. I do.
how does that go for you?
Ooh. So I think the first relationship that's primary for me, I'm Christian. So my first relationship is, vertical, with God. And then after that, um it's my husband, right? Who is my second husband. He's not my first husband. He's my second husband. He's my last husband. Ain't no more after that. So
Hmm.
for me, when I look at it in the dynamic of my own family, so there's myself, my husband. I brought two children. My husband brought two children. Um, and I hold that term loosely in this space because they were older. My children were actually adults when my husband and I met. So when I think about the relationships that we have, especially as it relates to blended families, it gets a little convoluted because there are these different components. But those relationships are extremely important to me as a person. And it's important to me that they be healthy. So the healthiest relationship that I have is with my husband, and I have a great relationship. My son, matter of fact, my son, my bio son, just out the blue called me yesterday. I was so
Okay.
excited. I was so excited. And he said, Mom, I just want to check on you. That lets me know that our relationship is in a good place because there's no avoidance of having conversation with me,
Mhm.
right? And so with the other two sons that I have, it's a little different because they're not biologically mine, but I love them. And so when I think about building relationships and having healthy relationships, to me, what it looks like is being able to have open dialogue with them outside of my husband, right? So I want to be able to pick up the phone and call either one of them and we can have a conversation. Now, mind you, they've been in my life for a long time.
Mhm.
So I probably have a little bit better access than a newer blended family might have. And it's great because we can talk. The younger one's a little bit more difficult, but I really enjoy being able to be honest.
Mhm.
That's the biggest thing. When I think about having healthy relationships, honesty is like tier one.
Mhm.
It's that piece that if you don't have that part, um, then the whole you have no foundation. So to me,
Mhm.
I think any kind of communication within a relationship starts with that building block of honesty.
So then, speaking about that, like,
Hmm.
um, would you? So you're going on close to or about over 15 years together at this point with your husband,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Okay. And the kids, when you came in, the children were in their teenage years per se when you guys
Correct,
started
correct. They
like
were
that. How
15
old?
and 13.
On both sides ish way.
No, mine were in college, so they were early 20s.
So your kids are older than his.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
So
then
we are
let me
36, 36, 34, 32, 29. Those are the ages. And mine are the older two.
also, you see, guys, I'm 36 myself, so I'm one of her own children on the other side. He just don't
That's
know
why
it.
that's my baby on the East Coast.
Uncle Mims doesn't really know that he has another son that he got to start paying child support for.
You know what? At this point, he realizes and recognizes and understands that he will have children wherever he goes because just that's how I get. That's my get down. That's my get down.
So when you and Uncle Mims, for the
Hmm.
lack of better words in here, got together, let's say, how long would you say, right, that the relationship itself, not the one between you and him, because that's
Hmm. Hmm.
different. That's a different
Hmm.
foundation. Focusing more on your relationship with the bonus children, right?
Hmm.
And then the
Hmm.
relationship between the bonus siblings and each other, right?
Hmm.
How long would you say that it took for it to go from unhealthy or strenuous to healthy?
So I'll start with the children first because that I think has never really taken uh I think it's in the development stage still because when we met, my children were both on the East Coast going to school.
Mhm.
So they didn't really meet one another. Um uh for they it was where they knew of one another but they didn't meet. So it's not like we had this where my kids were at home and when my bonus fellows came to the house they got to interact with my kids. So it was really it's intermittent in terms of the contact that they had. As a matter of fact, I think the longest number of hours of contact that the children have actually had together was at our wedding. And so like that day of our wedding. And so there's not a I don't know that there's a camaraderie between the four of them. They know about one another. When we're all together, which is seldom because we live on two different coasts, they're very nice. They're very,
Mhm.
how men do. What's up, bro? They do all of that, but there's not, I think, an established relationship. So it's more like oh, I see you. When I see you, we're cool. So that's the sibling, like on that level, but there's no
Mhm.
animosity. There's just no real relationship there. So with me and the children, um, I think the timeline was different for each of them. So my number three son, which is what I call him, like we're tight. I can pick up the phone. We can talk football, basketball. We can talk money. We can talk food. We can talk TV. Like we can even talk deeper emotions. So we have a
Mhm.
good relationship. So I'm going to say that's like 5 to 7 years, which is the average
Mhm.
for a blended family to start to gel.
So
For
let's
me
pause
and
right
yeah,
there for a
uh
second.
huh, uh huh.
Did y'all hear that?
Mm,
Um, she didn't say 5 months, 5 years.
mm-hmm.
And we're coming at you, her and I both. And I'm gonna say this real quick, okay? Let me take this quick pause. So I digress, Miss Michaela. Um, we live in a society where people expect that when they get together or even formulate whatever relationship, right? But more so in the intimate side of blendedness, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially as the older as we get more. I don't even want to use the word older. I want to use the word seasoned, okay? Because as you know, the riper the grape, the sweeter the juice. Okay. Um. So
I love you.
when I want for my audience out there that is listening to these videos and things of that nature, I want you to understand something. We didn't say months.
Mm-mm.
We didn't say days.
No.
We didn't say weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We said 5 years. And that's not even speaking, because the two of us are very well versed in our professions. Okay. We're not speaking professionally. We're speaking from life experience. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. For
I'm a
sure.
bonus child. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and my stepfather got together when I was 15. My sister was 14. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s, I think like 20, maybe 21 ish, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that he went from being the concept of like, go talk to your man to go, that's my dad,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It took time. There was a
Yeah.
lot. And especially as a
Mm-hmm.
teenager at that time, and we're talking years back, especially for your own kids and his kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking back in the day. So 10 times harder now. But 5 years, and that's healthy because a
Or
lot
longer.
happens there.
Yeah.
And if it
Yeah.
happens longer, because there's other factors to be taken into consideration,
Mm-hmm.
not every bonus mom or bonus dad um, is willing or able to provide stead foundations and
Yes.
boundaries and expectations.
Yes.
The
Yes.
benefit that Michaela, you tended to have also is the position in which you and your husband were at in that time,
Mm-hmm.
professionally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually speaking, right? Like there were very very strong foundational key points to take into consideration that helped
Yes.
the transition. And even
Mm-hmm.
with those things in place,
Mm.
even with those in place, it still was about 5 years, right? Imagining
Yeah.
if those things weren't there, right? Then
Yeah. Yeah.
we're having people way longer than that. That are still 15, 20 years in and still having squabbles and disagreements. And I don't like her. My
Mm-hmm.
mama told me that she's a this and that, and then boom, 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 boom. And then you hear a lot of this happening in the house. Okay. Um, so keep that in mind, guys. So for those of y'all that are thinking that when you're getting into a relationship with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number
Mm-hmm.
one, understand that yes, even though the new unit, okay, is one,
Mm-hmm.
remember that just because that's your new man or your new woman,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that person comes with a luggage full of stuff, and they're called children,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're
I mean,
called
there's that,
exes.
and your own. Yeah, oof. There's that, and yeah. So the bio parents play a big part in the speed at which a newly formed blended family will gel. If you have bio parents that are um, emotionally mature and can navigate their own feelings well and don't utilize this time as a way to position themselves where they are the favorite person, then you can have it can be a really lovely transition. For example, my bio son has a, and we talked about her yesterday, has a bonus mom.
Mhm.
And my philosophy from the gate was, as long as you love my son, as long as you're good to him, as long as you treat him well, as long as you embrace him and nurture him, I have zero problems with you being in my son's life. Zero.
Mhm.
And to this
Mhm.
day, now we had our own thing, she and I, that had nothing to do with my son, but to this day, my son has never reported being treated poorly by his bonus mom. As a matter of fact, her parents have even embraced him as another grandchild. And so that's what it can look like, but it requires a level of emotional maturity, which I'll be honest, I didn't always have it. I didn't always have it. But one thing I knew was I wasn't going to make it an issue for my son. I wanted
Mhm.
to make sure that my son didn't get the fallout of whatever happened between me and his dad. That's between us, it's grown folks' business. So it can happen. It can be good, or at least it can be healthier for the children if the adults in the situation conduct themselves and govern themselves accordingly. If they don't, it can be hot mess express.
And that's the beautiful thing right there. Okay. A lot of times people want to look at it from the perspective of um, he or she is trying to steal my baby.
Mhm.
No, no. I'm not trying to steal nothing from you.
No,
Oh, and then on the
at
bonus kid
all.
side, and then like bonus kid side, I speak on the so Miss Michaela speaks on the bonus parent section, and I
Mhm,
speak on
mhm,
bonus
mhm,
child.
mhm.
I faced that also with my
Mm,
bonus siblings from my father, is what I call him. I give him that title. He's earned it. Okay.
that's
My
nice.
my mother's husband, for the lack of a better word, we call him um Tom or Epi, right?
Happy.
Um
I love
Epi.
that.
Uh he's earned, and I say that with a lot of confidence, he's earned the title father
I
and
love it.
daddy,
I
okay?
love it.
Because he's not the sperm donor, but he is the father. I came out because of him. He helped me through that transition.
Really?
Yes. He
I love that.
it was literally about to be my 24th birthday. I had lost my cousin to a very
Mhm,
tragic death in
mm,
Puerto Rico. My mother and my sister went to the funeral in Puerto Rico with my niece, the oldest niece. She was the only one born at the time, and then me and my stepdad stayed behind with
mm.
the boys. And we were just taking the boys to school one day, and we're driving back home. I'm driving my Volkswagen Jetta 1998 that the floor was rotting.
Not the
Don't get it
Jetta.
twisted. Don't get it twisted. Yes,
Oh,
I had a Flintstones vehicle. Um, and he tells me to pull over and looks at me and says, "Stop. Just say it." And I'm thinking he's talking about me grieving because my cousin just passed away.
mhm, mhm,
And I
mhm.
said, I don't have time to cry right now about, my cousin. I'll do that on my own time. He goes, "That's not what I'm talking about." He goes, "Stop living a lie." He goes, "Do you think we're
Mm,
stupid?" He's like, "I see you hurting, and life is too short. Look what happened to your cousin. Just say
mm,
it." And
mm,
he didn't say, "Just say that you're gay." He
mhm.
said, "Just say it." That's what he said
Wow.
to me. He goes, "This car will not move until you say it." And it took 30 minutes. And I started
Oh,
crying.
wow.
And I told him, I looked at him straight in his eyes, and I said, "I am gay.
Mm,
I like men."
mhm,
And he
mhm.
goes, "Okay, put it in park. Because don't you got class in like an hour?"
What a cool thing for somebody to open up space and hold that space for you. And not that you needed permission, You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Not that you couldn't have ever said that unless one individual in the world said, "Oh, okay, now it's okay for you to say it." But giving you permission to relax and feel safe and feel seen and feel vulnerable. That I think parent to child is one of the biggest gifts we can give our children, is to
Mhm.
create. And so because we're talking about healthy relationships, right? So giving our children, regardless of their age, a soft place, a landing place where they can just
Mhm.
go,
Mhm.
mom or dad, guess what?
And that's exactly what I felt when I said it.
I love that.
And not in a million years would I have ever thought that, because like I said in the beginning,
It would come from your bonus dad.
my relationship with my bonus dad in the beginning, compared to my sister and him had a much more rough patch, but my
Mm,
relationship with my bonus dad was not healthy in the beginning. It was
mhm,
very
mhm,
unhealthy.
mm,
Never did I ever expect for this man to be the one to ask me that question and then embrace me,
mm,
when my own biological father, when he found out weeks later,
mhm,
I get a letter, not a phone call, a letter from an
mm,
attorney that he had sent by, because he was trying to be there financially,
mhm.
and the letter said, "I don't create mistakes," and I
Well,
haven't
no
heard from
one's a
him since
mistake.
then.
No one's a mistake. But here's
Nope.
the thing that I know about, um, or what I observe about men. Men value honesty, right? We talked about that foundation. Men honor honesty, and I'm going to use the word righteousness, but not in a Christian way, which, and you know me, 10 toes down. That's who I am. But when I say righteousness, I mean in a way where you walk in a space of being really who you are, right? And I think that men see that in other men. So own who you are, be who you are. Don't come fake, disingenuine. I've observed that about a lot of men. Just be who you're going to be, because that gives me the space to respect and receive respect from you. But if you're playing a lot of games and hiding and avoidant, I've learned a lot from a lot of men that they don't do very well with you're from New York, with people fronting, right? When people are fronting
Mhm.
on they, so
Mhm.
and so I could see where that conversation could take place with your chosen dad, because it's like, okay, so let's, if we can just clear this path, then that leaves us the space to just operate in an environment and in a relationship that's open, that's honest, right? So he essentially, to me, what I'm hearing is he was like, okay, this is a barrier, not really for him, but for you, right? And I
And
see the barrier for you.
I love the fact that you use the word chosen, because one of the things that a lot of individuals within the LGBT community
Hmm.
tend to face is that we choose our family, right? Because there's multiple
Yeah.
times in which a lot of them are not fortunate enough to have a
Biological
family
family.
unit, yep, biological
Yeah.
family. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them get ostracized and shunned and kicked out to the curb and things like that, or there's no level of
Mm-hmm.
respect and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. And one of the things that the reason why he was chosen, right, is because him and my mother have done something that I've seen other people struggle with. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 100% honest, right? My mother and my father both have very strong religious beliefs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was born Christian, raised in the church and things like that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't accept a lot of different things that I do, because no parent accepts everything that their child does.
That
But they
part.
res- but in order to make the relationship healthy, they respect their son. They don't accept
Mm-hmm.
everything. They respect me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with
Mm-hmm.
that comes a lot of different things, because then it allows for us to have conscious communication to set healthy
Love
boundaries.
that segue. That was good.
It was one of these little moments. Um, it allows for us to engage in conscious communication to set healthy, appropriate boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They respect me so much that they're not talking to me about condemnation. They're not talking to me about,
Love
oh,
that.
like when are you gonna have kids or you gonna get married to a woman? They know better by now,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've established
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. The
Mm-hmm.
same way that they as adults, because that's what they are too. That yeah, they're my parents, but they're adults too. In the
Mm-hmm.
same way that they have the right to ask me questions that might be inappropriate, I can do the same. And they set boundaries like, you don't ask me that question. We don't talk about that
Well,
topic,
there's
right?
that.
Out of respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have difference of opinions, right? And but we respect each other. We don't accept
Mm-hmm.
everything that each one of us does, but we respect each other. And that's where things become very easier for us to navigate,
Yeah.
right? We can
Yeah.
still break
I
that
agree.
big bread. We can still enjoy the holidays together. We can still go and do all these. Listen, like one of the things that us three like to do is that at times we live very close to a casino up here. So once in a blue moon, like after our bills are paid and stuff like that, we like to go ahead and have some fun, right? And my dad doesn't drink any longer. He's been sober
Mm-hmm.
for a long time from alcohol.
Mm.
So
Awesome.
he'll be the DD for me and my mom, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Right? And we'll be hanging out, and I am walking around in this very public place with thousands of people in it, in my glory, with my heels or my long hair sometimes and
Not the
stuff like that.
glory, honey. I
Yep.
love
And
it.
my dad and I will be walking side by side, and I'll be like, just jokingly, like if somebody is like, if like we did this thing one time, there was this lady like trying to flirt with him or whatever. Obviously, my mom wasn't around, but I peeped it, right? And I was like, "Hey, what's up, daddy?" Right? And he knew what I was
Mm-hmm.
doing. He knew I was just trying to deviate this person before my mother came in there and baptized her to the concrete, right? So the mother didn't see it. So we just kept it. And she's finding out right now, Mom, that happened 2 years ago. Do not come after dad, okay? If you're listening. But he laughed. He didn't push me away. He wasn't like disgusted or he knew what I was doing. I was doing first of all, to protect him, okay?
Mm.
Because my mother can be a little bit dangerous. She's
You're
a Puerto
so
Rican
funny.
mama. Puerto Rican mama. Okay?
We have so
But
many things that are
but
similar versus dissimilar.
but that was just
I
the most
love it.
like for him, like the fact that I can have that relationship with
Mm-hmm.
him, right? He's so secure in who he is as a person, but he respects and loves his son unconditionally. Because that's what I am to him, his son.
Man, that's
Because
so dope.
his own children
Uh-oh.
allow for the he wasn't there for them and it wasn't his fault, right? There was
Mm-hmm.
circumstances in life that took place. He
Right.
wasn't there. And he came back into their lives at the same time that he introduced himself to me and my sister, right?
Mm.
And he's tried to, be there. He's really good at trying, but his children didn't see it that way. They saw it as if you've been gone, now you found this new family, and you have a son and a daughter, and instead of embracing us, they became very hateful. And
Mm.
then
I
basically we're
know
like,
that
well,
too.
if you don't stop being there for them, and then it got worse when the babies were born, like my nieces and nephews, the grandkids.
Oh,
Those are his grandchildren. Like there's no question about
yeah.
that. There's no blood related stuff in there, but there's no way you can tell that man or those kids that
Mm-hmm.
that's abuelo, that's grandpa. There's
That's right.
no question.
That's same
Mm-mm.
with my grandchildren.
His children didn't like that and gave him an ultimatum. If you don't discount that
Uh,
part, we want nothing to do with you. And
oh
he said,
no.
well, there's the door because those are my kids too.
That's right. That's right. That's
And
right.
and then that's exactly what happened.
Wow. When we're putting these families and relationships together, one of the things that stands out for me is how how often we discount the ability to make emotional connections with people and how
Mhm,
unconscious it can be
mhm,
versus we try to make it cognitive, like, what the phrase people say, make it make sense. The
mhm,
heart doesn't know that. So all my grandchildren know, because they're not my biological grandchildren, they just know I'm Mimi.
mhm,
That's what they know.
mhm,
And I like it, and I like the innocence that happens with that. And so sometimes when we start to intellectualize things too much, we
mhm,
lose our ability to walk. Because I from time to time use DBT. We lose that mindfulness component and that middle path that wise mind brings to us. Like,
mhm,
this can exist and this can exist, and we can put them together, and then we can operate where we can use both reason and emotion to have healthier relationships. Because sometimes we got to use intellect because we want to understand where the person is coming from, but it's the emotion that allows us to be empathetic. It's the emotion that allows us to be present and loving towards people, even when we can't make it make sense. So I love that you have that relationship with your dad, because that's not everybody's testimony. And, I celebrate that. And I'm so grateful that you
and
get
that
to have that
and that
experience in your life.
and that brings us in as we segue. And thank you so much, real quick. Before I get into this next segue, I'm gonna have yourself introduce yourself again in case people are coming in and they, because we've been
Okay,
37
let's do
feet strong. So go ahead, Mama,
it.
introduce yourself one more time.
Well, hey, 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 hello, hello, hello. My name's Michaela Mims. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist out here in these Elk Grove, California streets, honey. I love working with Black women, bonus mamas, blended families, couples, right? Because that's the other thing when we're talking about relationships, right? They're the different components to the relationship, but I'm in California. I have a whole license. I'm working towards messing with Dr. Ramirez. I'm working towards another doctorate here another doctorate, the first doctorate here very
I'm doing the other
soon.
one. She's doing the
Right.
first
So
one.
you see how connected we are. I feel like we're going through these experiences
Yep,
together. But
yep.
yeah, so I'm going to pursue a PhD because I want to bring not necessarily legitimacy, but I want to bring to the forefront the thought on blended families and what that's like. Because there's some incredibly healthy and thriving blended families, and then there are those that are not. So yeah, that's what I do. So I do have some spaces open if you need a therapist
She
in
sure
California.
does.
I have some spaces open, so holler at your girl.
And for those of you guys that are joining over here for the first time again, if you're listening in, my name is Dr. Luis Ramirez.
Yes,
I am a
he is.
diagnostic and trauma specialist here in the upstate New York area. So if you are seeking therapy treatment and are in need of help at this time, you can feel free to visit my website at www.risingpotentialcounseling.com. Again, that's www.risingpotentialcounseling.com. And
Well,
if
can
you're
I throw my
listening for the
email out? I
first
mean,
time,
can I throw my website out there?
yes, go ahead, Mama. Go ahead, throw it out.
Oh, so we are at www.stillwatertherapy.com. www.stillwatertherapy.com, and there's contact information on there. So yeah, I'm Dr. Ramirez is doing the East Coast and the West Coast right now. I just got the West Coast. I'm gonna come into his hood soon and go to the East Coast. But yeah,
You sure is.
so what's on deck? What's our next topic? I
So
love
it's
it.
funny but not really, because we're connected. For those of you who listen, the name of her website is Still Waters. Keeping it okay? Still Waters. Mine is Rising Potential, right? And my
Don't you
phoenix
love
is
it?
the phoenix is my animal, and it
Yes.
represents flame. Our
Hmm.
next topic that we're segueing into it when it comes to conscious communication, because I did not lose my thread, people. All right.
I'm
It's
glad. That's
funny.
why I keep you around because you're younger
It's
than me and your brain stays on topic.
it's funny that this is the topic right now for conscious communication, the first one. Shift from winning to connecting.
Mm,
Torch versus water. And like I said, her name is Still Waters. Mine's Rising Potential represents fire. She represents water. So,
mhm. I love
torch
it.
versus water over there. Okay. Meaning, when it comes to winning, it's not just the flame.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain
Mm-hmm.
something real quick because I'm very nerdy, guys. Okay. And
Love it.
flames and water are by far the most two powerful elements in the world. And I'm going to tell you
Yes.
guys why.
Yes.
Unlike air and unlike lightning and unlike steel and unlike earth,
Mm-hmm.
flames and waters are by far the most two powerful elements in the world
Mm,
that God had created. All right? Flames can burn down steel to such a degree that you can shape and change the form of steel if you
mm,
apply enough heat.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It can also mix in a way with rocks, making them volcanic style
Mm,
rocks, creating coal, right? And
mm,
changes the
mm,
element because of
mm-hmm.
how bad it is. And then you also then can add flames to water in a way, creates steam,
That's what I
evaporates,
was thinking.
right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Water can mix with air to create ice.
Mm-hmm.
Enough pressure can cut through steel and or stone.
Mm,
With lightning, it becomes deadly because of the molecules. And it
mm-hmm.
has the power not only to mix with flames to make vapor, right, and mist and fog, but it can also distinguish the flames. So think about that. So winning, just because just either water or flames, doesn't make it okay either. Because both elements have the potential
Mm.
to create life and be peaceful as well and bring comfort, but can also destroy. And God Himself has shown us that in the Bible,
Mm.
how He's
I
utilized
love how you put
elements
that.
to do that.
I love how you put that. I love how you
Why?
put that.
Why so? Tell me.
Well,
Talk to me about it.
because I feel like y- there's also you can produce from fire and water
Hmm.
and you can put them together, right, to produce. So for example, cooking,
Correct.
we can put water in a container, put the container on top of fire, and they work together
Hmm.
to produce something that can nourish.
Correct.
So that's when you said that. I was like, okay,
So
okay,
think about us as
I
a
like that.
relationship, right?
Yes,
We are. It
yes.
doesn't matter if we have the same, religious beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
same cultural backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
ethnicity, race,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even same era of being born. We are
Mm-hmm.
still going to represent what that looks like up there, half and half,
Facts, facts, sir, facts,
half and
facts,
half.
and facts.
Water and fire do have to come together.
Mm,
But you need to learn how to understand in a conversation, a conscious
yes.
conversation with your partner or coworker, sibling, parent, your own children, okay? You need to understand when is it okay to add more
Breathe.
flames and when is it okay to add more water.
Right. So there's balance. So I'm hearing you say that there's you know what? Balance is not my favorite word when it comes to relationships. My favorite word when it comes to relationships and communication is priority. So when
Woo!
we can
Give me 1 second on
prioritize.
that. Hold on. Hold on, because that one is and then followed by the
What?
I love it. So,
Go ahead.
sidebar question. So, the sound effects, are those through your platform,
No,
StreamYard? Are they
nope.
okay?
So I'm gonna
So
give you. I'm gonna send it to you later
I
with
was
so
gonna
you
say
can
we'll
start
we'll
utilizing.
offline, right? We'll offline that. We'll offline that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so priorities, right? So when I think
Mhm,
about priorities versus balance, when we think of balance, we think of balance in a way of making everything okay and stable, right? Hence the name, like
mhm.
balance the scales, right?
Correct.
However, we don't always have balance in our lives individually. So when we can shift from balance to priority in terms, it decreases stress actually. So when I think about, I can like, this is a priority for me today, and I'm so excited that I got to do it. So this is I feel like my schedule got jacked up to make room for this. So I love
Mhm.
that. Um, priority
Divine
to me,
intervention.
I'm just saying, priority means I am intentional about how I talk with you. I'm intentional about creating space and room and time for you in order to have a conversation, in order to communicate. So when we talk about conscious communication, prioritizing is what comes up for me, especially when I work with couples. I mandate a weekly CEO check-in where you talk about, how are you feeling about our relationship this week? Are there any things left unsaid from last week? And how can I support you or love you better this week? So that's prioritizing. That's being very intentional about and very conscious of how you go into, pardon me, into conversations. I'm sorry, y'all. I was out in the garden before I came on with Dr. Ramirez, and my little allergies are kicked up a little bit.
So
So
let me so
apologies.
let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
this part right here. So communicating to connect, not, I'll repeat that one more time. Communicating to connect,
Mm-hmm.
not to win.
I love it.
Okay? So
Yes.
What?
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Conscious communication, okay, is the deliberate effort, people. Deliberate effort to speak, to understand, and be understood.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
To understand
Yes.
each other, not
Yes.
defeat each other. It goes beyond
Yes.
exchanging information. It's how partners create. Listen to me. It's how partners create bridges
Say it for the people in the back.
where there are chasms, how differences meet without turning into a fight for power.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Do you understand the concept of a bridge,
That's good.
people?
Mm-hmm.
If the foundation of a bridge is not stable
Mm-hmm.
because the architect, the construction crew, the supervisor, the manager, the business planner did not
Project
come
manager.
together to
Mm-hmm.
talk about this foundation, when you drive your little cute vehicle over that bridge, you're gonna be going glup, glup, glup. Okay?
Problems.
So we
Problems.
take so much priority and focus and emphasize on the work to
Mm-hmm.
construct a structure to make our life easier, right? That has no feelings or anything of that nature, then why are you not doing that with your own relationship?
True. True. I like that you said that.
Give me some of that,
So
Miss
that's
Michaela Mims.
intention. That's intentional, right? It, I believe that within any relationship, there has to be intentionality, because relationships can be taxing. Relationships are not always um, puppy dogs and snow cones and all these fun things are not always that. There are
Mhm,
these
mhm, mhm.
moments. in relationships where things get chaotic, or they can get painful, or there can be this distance, right? You spoke about a chasm. This is why I think being intentional in relationships is so important. So, Dr. Ramirez, if this, if I'm doing my live on TikTok, if I even think I hear my husband, I'm like, hold please, you good? What you need nothing? He might just be coming in here to laugh at me because he was on the live. But that's intentional, right? That's what I mean by prioritizing, right? I love what I do in the morning. Those people, including yourself, are extremely important and valuable to me. However, that's my first relationship, and that trickles down to how my children see us and how we communicate as a family. But I would love for us at some point to really talk about sibling communication. Like, that is such a good topic, and I think it's a subcategory to the conscious communication, right? Like, communicate. I wrote it down: communicate to connect, not to win. I can see that dynamic playing out among siblings. I can really see that playing out amongst siblings. So, um, I love being able to talk with you and talk with other people about the importance of being intentional and about prioritizing how we communicate in relationships, because it can elevate or it can dismantle a relationship.
So I appreciate you coming in here today, and this is segment number one of this topic, and we will be continuing it on. And guys, if you wish to have Miss Michaela Mims come back for this continuation of this second portion of the podcast, just leave a comment in the comment section. Hashtag bring Michaela back, and we'll be doing that. Or hashtag still waters where we at. As you guys know, we don't only
Mhm,
just talk about therapy in my platform also, but we also are very spiritual. So I'm going
mhm.
to give Miss Michaela the honor today to end us in a prayer, okay?
Oh.
And give us that lovely, you know,
Send off.
outro.
Okay.
We
I'd
call it
be happy
outro.
to.
We call it the outro.
The outro, the
And
intro
the
and
and the
outro.
yes, yes,
It's
yes.
my honor. It's my honor. It's my
Thank
honor to
you.
pray. Lord, we give you praise and we thank you and we lift you up. We glorify you. We magnify you. God, thank you for always creating spaces where not only individuals like Dr. Ramirez and myself can put on display um, the gifts and skills and talents that you've given us, and to educate and to love on people, but for also creating this space where you can show up and you can sit with us and you can guide and lead the conversation. It's not by happenstance today, God, that there was a scheduling snafu on my side. That's not happenstance, God. You created this space. Give us the opportunity to have this conversation, to create this space where we can talk about communication and we can talk about healthy relationships. So, Father, I ask that you would bless Dr. Ramirez, grow his community, grow his platform in a way that will completely and utterly blow his mind. Take him to places that you never, ever, ever thought he would go. Take him there, God, and love on him and comfort him and be with him. And I just thank you for the opportunity to be a witness to what he's doing. Bless everyone that's been a part of our conversation today and who will hear this at a later time. Bless them immensely beyond their wildest dreams. And we give you praise, honor, and glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much. Amen. And
You're
Michaela, I
welcome.
will talk to you later on. Thank you guys for coming to
Love
Rising
you,
from Your
honey.
Ashes podcast. We love you. Stay
Yeah.
blessed. Stay safe. Bye,
Next
everyone.
time, guys. Bye. Yeah.